Bye. My name is Josh Miller. I own Riverstone Kennels, and I've been training gun dogs for more than 16 years. I have field trialed, I've hunt tested, but at the end of the day, I'm a duck hunter. You might find that the duck in our Duck Dogs podcast is spelled uniquely. The UK stands for my British Labs. I love my British Labs. I love what they offer me, both as a part of my family and the high motor in the field. As you're going to find, I have some pretty special dogs. Follow along in our podcast series here as we talk about both in the field hunting and in the field training situations that will hopefully help you progress with your dog at home. Welcome back to another episode of Duck Dogs. I'm your host, Josh Miller, and today I am joined by Mr. Brett Ayers and a special guest that I will introduce. So before we get rolling here, let's make sure we thank our wonderful sponsors that make this show possible. Thank you to Eukanuba. Eukanuba Premium Performance Sport 3020 is the food that the dogs that are down here in Arkansas as we speak with us are on. It's what keeps them fueled up, not only having the energy throughout the hunt to sustain that energy, but also the recovery, the coat. I mean, just across the board is absolutely a fantastic food. So go check them out. Eukanuba Premium Performance Sport 3020. Also, thank you to Lucky Duck. Lucky Duck is your 5-star crash test rated kennel, both in the intermediate and in the large size. So no matter what size your 4-legged hunting partner is, you can be sure that you are traveling with them the safest way that you possibly can. www.luckyduck.com. Also, thank you to Gun Dog Supply. Gun Dog Supply is your one-stop shop for all of your hunting and training needs for your hunting partner of the 4-legged variety. We're actually down here right now with our good friend, Mr. Rob Snell. Steve is Rob's brother. But we're down here with Rob. He's a great friend of ours. He's an absolutely fantastic person. And I can tell you that company is run exactly the same way. Great people, great products. It's a great company. Go support them. www.gundogsupply.com. Also, thank you to Kent Cartridge. Kent is the shotgun shell that we are shooting. We love these shells. The Fast Steel 2.0 is a great product. I particularly love the bismuth. It's just been a fantastic round for me. And literally for everyone that we have down here, we're all shooting Kent cartridges. So go check out Kent. Again, just great people, great company. Also, thank you to Retriever Roadmap. Retriever Roadmap is your premium option for online training to train your 4-legged hunting partner at home. We're going to talk about Retriever Roadmap a little bit on this episode because that is where our special guest comes from. We have something really cool that we're doing here today. And so it's just kind of one of those things that it'll be really fun to share. So, so here we are.
We're in Arkansas. I think you forgot Lucky Duck.
No, I said Lucky Duck.
Did you really?
Yeah. I forgot somebody, though. Who did I forget?
Because I was counting.
We have Eukanuba. Kent Cartridge. Gun Dog Supply. Thank you to Sitka Gear. Oh, my goodness. Thank you to Sitka Gear. My gosh, how could I forget that? Sitka Gear is your premium option for outdoor clothing in general. We're literally all wearing Sitka right now, so I don't know how in the world I forgot that, but
I know.
Yeah. So www.sitkagear.com. Seriously, it will keep you in the field longer. It will keep you enjoying your time in the field longer, and ultimately, none of us get to do this for as much time as we all want to, and so every minute in the field counts. So we just came from Missouri. We're going to recap that here quickly and talk about our Arkansas hunt. So I can't believe you let me forget Sitka.
It's been a long day.
It has been a long day. I'll give you that. So let me recap here quickly what we have going on, what we've been doing. I'm going to introduce our new guest to us, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about where we are first. So we are at our new camp in Arkansas, our new Riverstone Duck Camp, and we love this place.
It's beautiful.
Oh my gosh! I mean, we're talking like big stone fireplace. We're talking gorgeous, inside. Like, we're happy.
Bed and breakfast.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I mean, that's just the feel that it gives you.
Yeah,
not duck camp, because the places we stay have been super nice. Like, we just came from Indian Hills, super
great.
nice place. Yep. The house previous to this, very nice, but this is just like it's a bread and breakfast.
Yeah, and you might be thinking, okay, like you're at a duck camp, like it is what it is, right? And we've had a lot of camps. I feel like we've kind of felt that same way. That's like, hey, this is a duck camp, and like it isn't supposed to be super nice, right? It's one of those things. But what you find out is that when you're in, like, you just get like, it's a grind, right? So like you do this so many days in a row. You're out in the cold. You're exhausted. You're all stuff. Like, this is a place we're going to be able to sit down and just be like,
relax.
Yeah, just relax.
Right.
And so I'm really looking forward to that. And
very homely feeling.
Yeah. And I like nice things.
Oh, yeah.
And this is a nice thing.
This is a nice thing.
So, but here's why I'm telling you all this, is because what we have found very quickly is that we have neighbors that they have dogs. These dogs tend to roam anywhere they want to, and they bark.
Yeah, you might hear them in the background.
That's why I'm telling you that, because I would be mortified if anyone out there was like, oh, Josh's dogs are out there barking in the background.
Right.
No, they are not. I promise you they are not.
Yeah.
So
we are in the garage, a detached garage from the house, because we have people over. We've got, some friends over that came here. So we're out in the garage trying to knock this out quick before, we go back in and eat dinner and, finish up for the night. So, yes, your dogs are in the kennel, and the dogs that are outside or
that's how much we love you guys. Everybody's inside having drinks, having a good time, eating or not cooking dinner, getting everything right. We're like, oh, let's go put the jackets on and go out in the garage and go do a podcast. So okay, so let me introduce who is with us here, Mr. Eric Schutte. Did I pronounce it right?
Correct.
Finally, because I've always wanted to say Schutte for some reason.
Not the first one.
Like there's no ooh, there's no like double O. And so let me give you a background, Eric. So I first met Eric when he sent his dog Scout in for Bird and Gun Intro, and from there on, he's been training Scout using Retriever Roadmap. And the reason that Eric is here today with us is through Retriever Roadmap. This is one of the things that I really feel like, Brett, you and I put an absolute emphasis on. What can we do for the community, right? Like, so it's whether it's giveaways or contests or like more content or like own specific podcasts, or like we're always trying to do more. And one of the ideas that we had was we're going to do this giveaway series over the summer, which is, post a video and you get one entry a month, right? And all we want to know is we just want to know, like, how is Retriever Roadmap helping you and your dog this month? Mm-hmm. And what was actually really neat is people like yourself, Eric, that were consistent with it. We remembered it.
Oh, yeah.
And we could see, oh my gosh, look at the jump you made from June to July or July to August, right? And it was fun to keep up with that. And so so we did one winner every month, and all of our awesome sponsors pitching on this, right? So it's like, Sitka and Eukanuba and Lucky Duck and all our great partners, Onyx, everyone was like, hey, we'll throw, which is fantastic. So we had so many prizes that we gave away, but then the grand prize was this,
Trip to Arkansas.
Which is fantastic. And I'm super excited. And I'm super excited that Eric won it, because we really haven't got to spend much time together since Scout. When was Scout in the kennel? 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
It was last October, because I was in North Dakota at that time, I think.
So a year from this October?
Mm-hmm.
Why do I think it was so much longer than that?
Mm. She'll be 2 years in March.
Okay.
And she came to you at 5 months or 6 months old.
Okay. So it wasn't as long as I thought. But we hadn't got, like, we keep up with messages and stuff like
Correct.
that, but haven't got to spend
Yeah.
much one-on-one time together, which is great.
Game Fair, he came to the booth.
Yeah.
at
Game Fair,
and hung
Yeah.
out. That's where I first met him. So
Right.
Yeah. Well, and what's fun about this is just a different atmosphere, right? Like, it's not work atmosphere. Like, we get to hang out. We're going to have some drinks, have some steaks, spend time in the field together. I'm really excited about it. So I want to get into that. Before I want to get into, I want to kind of pick your brain on some thoughts and anticipation, things like that you have going into this. But I first want to recap Missouri, because we came from Missouri.
Yep.
Went to Missouri. We're in Missouri for, 3 days?
yeah, 103 days. Yep.
Yeah, and so just a quick recap there. So, Missouri, I have a good friend of mine who owns Indian Hill Outfitter. Well, both owners have become good friends of mine over the years, and they have. First off, they do a great job with their deer operation. Really do a good job being strategic, only harvesting mature deer, which I am all about. Just my thing. And so I really enjoy being in the field, with them. And so, like, last night, for example, I had a 145-inch, 10-pointer right in front of me, and I just didn't feel like he was old enough. Like, it just didn't feel like he was a great deer. Like, that's a great deer. 145 inches is a great deer for anyone. I'm not going to knock that. But I'm looking at him going, you're just not mature enough. You're not big enough, right? And I think that's one of the things that me and the owners have in common is, like I don't have to kill a deer, right? Like, I want something special, and if it's special, I'm all about it. But if it's not, then it's like, I'm good with it. Now, I did see a special deer earlier, but he was at 120 yards, and this time of year, it's like feed wise, like if you're in the right spot, feed wise, great, and if you're not, you're not. And I wasn't, and he is. I'm gonna say he's probably 155-inch 8-pointer. Okay, now. When you say 150-inch 10-pointer, like, yeah, that's a good deer. That's an 8-pointer. That's a stud. Like, that is a stud. And he's old. He's mature. He's big body. He's everything that you'd want. And so I was jacked up. But last day there, like, the first thing that somebody asked me was like, "Gosh, your last day, like, you just want to let that arrow fly on that 140, 145?" And I was, no, like, I don't have to kill a deer.
You don't mind tag soup.
I really don't. To me, it's about the experience. And did I tell the story of the big deer that I hunted there earlier?
Yeah, I think you did on an earlier podcast.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's what I'm there for. Like, when I was back there, I had 3 different people come up to me and be like, "I heard that you have the absolute most intense deer story that they've ever heard. Like, can you tell it to me?" Like I didn't kill that deer. I did not harvest that deer. But I have an experience that I can relive and share, and I mean, to me, that's what it's about. So, anyway, that was the deer side of things. So I would deer hunt in the evenings. We would duck hunt in the mornings, and the duck hunting was just slow, and it just got slower as the days went on.
Yep.
Right, like, first morning was okay, second morning was very subpar, third morning was like, wah, wah. I mean, it was ghost town.
Yeah.
And where we're hunting, we're on a flooded cornfield, off of a refuge off of the Mississippi River. I mean, it's
prime.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Birds just weren't there.
Yep.
And that's just waterfall right now.
Right.
If you're in it, you're in it, and if you're not, you're not.
Yeah. Kyle and I went out the second night we were there, and seen a lot of birds leaving the refuge going south. And from that particular morning, I thought we saw a decent number of birds, and we were just in the wrong spot. So I had high hopes of having a pretty successful hunt on the last morning, but I don't know from what we saw if the ducks that we seen going south, if they ever came back.
Mm-hmm.
They might be down here.
Based on what I saw, I don't think so.
Right.
I mean, I really don't. Like, we didn't even see ducks.
Right. Yeah. We drove through the refuge, and there were a few ducks in there, but
On the third day you did?
On the second day we
Okay.
did. Yeah, Kyle and I took a drive. We went scouting, and there were a few ducks in the refuge. It's hard to tell because, you know, it's just one road, and looking at the ponds and glassing, and, you know, there's a number of birds, but it's hard to say. And I didn't look at a survey to see what was there either. But
Sure.
But I can tell you from what we've seen today, I think a lot of them are here.
Yeah, today was fun. Today was fun, and we didn't even, we were just setting up. So, we're down in Arkansas. We're on our new farm, which it took a lot to get this property. A lot of relationship building, a lot of networking. It just took a lot. But first impression, having not hunted, well, you and I hunted it, with my dad and your son on Thanksgiving. And that was our first taste of it, and then I solidified it, to where we have it. And man, like there were a lot of birds up there today.
Yeah.
There really were. Like Eric, what was your first impression? You hadn't been here before.
First of all, thank you for having me. I mean, this is unbelievable. A lot has gone into this for me just being here. The Retriever Roadmap thing has been unbelievable. Just the community and meeting everybody has been fantastic. I hunted North Dakota twice and Minnesota a ton. We had good shooting in Minnesota the last weekend of Thanksgiving, and I saw a lot of birds, but it did not compare to what I saw today. From you name it, to the specklebelly goose, who I've never seen in my life.
That's going to be a priority of ours to get him one this week. Yeah.
Just incredible, and they're just moving around, and there's just lots of them. And I hunted probably with my work schedule, teaching and doing the stuff I do, is I got out 21 times.
That's good.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
What I saw today did not compare to what I saw in 2 months.
It's different.
So I'm excited. It's different.
It's different. This has just been a different year, I think, all around, because there's years we come down here and it's okay. And I know, talking to people, obviously talking to some of the people we know around here, it's been one of the better years in a long time. So this weather that we've had, I really think have pushed the birds down sooner than what they normally do.
No question.
And it's just it's going to get cold towards the end of the week, so we're gonna face some adversity towards the end of the week with ice, and we got water now, because when we were here in Thanksgiving, it was bone dry.
Yeah.
And now we have water, and what we've seen today is going to be an interesting few days.
Yeah, I'm trying. I told Eric this today. I'm trying not to get too excited, because
I've
gotten really excited before, and then we get out there and we're like, oh, what is going on?
I saw him today, and it's like, I got to be there tomorrow.
Oh gosh, I mean, there are just so many birds.
We're gonna see them.
Yeah, we're gonna see them. We'll see them.
Yep. And they're just bouncing around this farm, so it'll be. I think it's gonna be something. It's gonna be fun.
Well, and there's something that that a guy that actually, ironically, is just like 4 houses down from our new camp here, and his name is Barry. And Barry told me something 2 years ago when we were hunting. He was one of, like, Joey was really the first one that got me involved in this area. Then Nick did, and then Barry was involved in that. And he's just like, man, here's the deal. There are just certain areas, certain farms, certain stretches of rivers that birds go to. Now, whether that's because they go there every year, whether that's because there's just something about that spot that they like, he's like, I've been doing this too long around here to know you could get a farm that you feel like you could do everything, you can plant, you can do all this stuff, but it's just not like having the right spot.
Right.
And man, he and I have never talked about this since then. And then I saw him today, and one of the first things he's like, man, like, you're on the spot. And I was just like, oh, now I feel good. Now I feel good about this. So there were just so many ducks really stacked up in certain spots. And we're going to be very strategic about how we hunt our farm. And we're not going to shoot everything off this. We're going to have certain areas that are rest areas, certain areas that we're going to hunt. We're going to do this the right way. We have a very big property here, and we have the opportunity to manage it, and want to take full advantage of managing that property. And so we're going to be strategic, but man, like, I'm really excited about it. And now I'm excited for a lot of things. One, like, it just gives me, like, Eric, with you being here, it just gives me this new energy, right? Of like this is something different. Like Brett, you and I go out and do this so many places. If you hear the dog in the background, it's not my dog. But like, you just kind of get in a routine, right? You get in a rut, and like, like immediately, like, I had more fun watching Eric smile
Oh,
watch all
yeah.
these birds today, and I was like, oh gosh, this is awesome, you know. So that's what I'm excited about. So from a dog standpoint, like where are you at mindset wise? Like, what are your, do you have certain expectations, certain things you really want to get Scout into? Like, walk me through that.
So you and I have talked about this, and I'll just give you a number. Scout had 83 retrieves this year,
Awesome.
and I don't give that number because it's just with our group this year. We have one dog that's red-shirted, another one that's young. So I really had the only one most of the time. And a couple of times I had to go solo hunts, and that causes some issues.
Oh, yeah.
Because I get caught up in the moment when they're dive bombing you, and she might break. And then I got to rearrange how I'm doing that hunt. So what I want out of this hunt, and I even talked to you about this, is I want to see her honor more too, you know, on this hunt. She's had the retrieves this year, and she's on her toenails, and she wants to go. So I'm interested to see what happens tomorrow. To be honest with you, I may not even shoot the first time they come in tomorrow. I'm just going to watch her because I think we have enough guns.
Yep.
And there's enough birds. If I don't, you know, I'll have plenty of time to shooting. I'm actually going to concentrate on her a little bit more tomorrow, just to make sure that. And I don't know which dog you're going to bring tomorrow. You know, I think we're going to have 2 out tomorrow. Yeah. But I just want to concentrate more on her because the birds are there. We have the guns. I'm here for 3-4 days. And it's going to be a lot of action in front of her and more people. And when I'm by myself, it's a little bit easier. But now you add 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys, and you got cameras going. You got these. This is going to be a new deal tomorrow for her. So, we'll just see how it goes. You'll be on one end, and I'll be on the other, and so that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. What I love most about that
is
you've never been to Arkansas.
Never.
There's lots of ducks that you saw tonight that are on your bucket list.
Yeah.
And the first thing that you said was, I'm not going to shoot it first.
Yeah.
I'm going to focus on the dog.
I'm going to tell you.
That is huge.
I would not nearly hunt as much as I do right now if it wasn't for the dog. I don't need to go shoot birds. I mean, I love the sport of it, but I got out to 21 times this year because of her. And the farm that I hunt, I knew I wasn't going to see a ton of birds. I would just go out on a Sunday afternoon, but just sitting there and just having her sit there and just go through the motions of it, even though I knew we weren't going to see much. It's because of her that I get out the most, and it's just and you know, I have three boys, and my wife came out this year, and just, you know, they see the dog in the house, and I say, guys, come out here, you know, just this is what she wants to do. And man, I had them all out this year, and it was a blast just to see what these dogs are bred to do and what they can do.
Yep. No, that's awesome. And how much hard work did you put into her throughout the whole summer to get her to the point?
Well, I think that's satisfaction, you know, just to see that come back, bring that bird back. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of hard work that goes into that. And this is my 4th dog, and I did not want to mess this one up. Your retriever roadmap came at the most. It was a game changer for my entire life, to be honest with you. We don't have to get into detail on that, but it's just the way you presented it, your videos, and me getting to know you, and your interaction with your community has been probably the biggest thing, answering questions. And as you guys are seeing this community grow, it's getting bigger. It's really grown, I think, in the last couple months too. And I'm meeting people across the country, and it's been a blast.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So,
yeah, it's cool stuff. And for me, that's one of the things I'm excited about is that it's very obvious that you put in the work. I mean, and I'm not joking. Like when Brett and I would see those videos come in, like we knew it. Like when people were being consistent, like in a month's time, you could see significant changes. And I'm just excited for you to be able to have that application. Now we bring that into the field, and like so here's my thing. Like when I look at you and your situation, so I'm going to go out there tomorrow if I'm you, and I'm going to expect that she's going to be extra jacked up because she just had 14 hours of travel, 15 hours. She's around dogs. She has no idea who they are. She's in a house. She has no idea where she is. She's going to feed off everyone. Like, we're all going to be pumped up, especially after what we saw today. We're all going to be pumped up. Yeah. She's going to feed off that, right? So now she's going to be extra jacked up. She's probably going to do some things that you're not going to like. Maybe she's challenging on break-in. Maybe, if you're like, hey, send your dogs. I want her to honor. She gets in. Like, that stuff's going to happen. And I think what's neat about this is that we have a young dog that's never been in the situation before. And if that's her expectation and she exceeds it, then we're doing backflips. Then we're great, And I do that same thing with all of my dogs. Like when so I have Tucker, with me right now, and I feel like Tucker did a very good job in Missouri, but he was antsy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, now we sat there for hours on end without seeing anything, and it was not the best situation, and I wouldn't have put him in that situation if I thought that it was going to be otherwise. We were both pretty confident, and we're wrong. Yep. But this is just like these young dogs, we as handlers just have to go into these situations so different, and it's like just because she was great in Minnesota and great in North Dakota doesn't mean that this is just going to be another evolution or step of that. And where I'm going with this whole thing is what's neat about this is that you are going to be in the blind with dog-centric, dog-minded people that if something happens, none of us are going to care.
Yeah, and that was my biggest worry about the whole thing. I even told you about that. I'm bringing a dog that, you got your dogs, and I'm like, I got to get past myself. If she makes a mistake, I mean, listen, it's going to happen.
It is what it is.
And we'll just go with the punches. She has broken a couple times this year, and I've just let her go on it at times. Sometimes I've stopped her. But it's me, and you say the most read the dog. It's been reading the dog for me each time she's made a mistake. And another thing you taught me to do is I've been journaling all this stuff. And a couple times I would write down the mistakes, and I've gone back to those. And that's
fantastic.
Yeah. So it hasn't been, and I've been tallying how many birds she has, but I've been also just writing. As soon as I get done with the hunt, I'll just write it down. And you learn a lot when you go back and write it down, or you guys are doing video. I've learned a ton by just reenacting this whole hunt. Okay, what happened? What went well? Brett, I remember one time this late season I called you or told you I had a triple. I shot 3 shells, 3 birds.
Yeah.
Like, wow, what happened? Saved myself a lot of money there, too. 2 right in front of her, and I had a blind, and she never broke. Got the 2 easy ones. We did a blind, and I was, like, ecstatic.
Yeah.
So
hunt made.
That was the dream. I mean, it was great.
Yeah.
So it was fantastic.
And those are the things that are what make this whole thing special is, seeing the hard work that you put in and maybe not having the confidence, especially as a newer handler, so to speak, but not having the confidence, but knowing all that hard work and what she did to exactly what you had trained her to do, that feeling is just, there's nothing else like it.
Nothing else like it. And I've also learned to ask people for help. I mean, whether I sent her to bird and gun introduction was fantastic, and I reached out to some other people that's helped me out because Retriever Roadmap didn't come out. When was the release date? April?
No,
March.
This year,
so I was already training at that time.
Right.
I had obedience, met another guy to help me out a little bit. Your videos came out, and what I just did is start processing and just learning and learning and learning and learning and learning and because and the other thing I did this year is when I did a hunt, I spent the week with maintenance stuff. What did she screw up with? So let's fix it this week. That's the first time I've ever done that.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
That's awesome.
I cannot wait to get her out there. I can't wait to get you out there. I can't wait to get out there myself after what I saw today. This is just going to be a really kind of a special thing. So, is there anything else you want to cover? Because I know dinner's probably ready.
Yep.
I'm starving. We have been up since 4:30, 4:35 to get in the truck to drive down here to get settled into the house, to get out to the farm, to get the spread set up, to get the blinds brushed in. Like if you guys are duck hunters, like this wasn't a travel day. Like this was a grind.
A lot of work.
And Eric left at 8:00 last night.
Drove through the night.
Yeah, drove through the night.
You guys are gracious enough to have a +1. I brought my good friend Mike, who's got a bud pup, and introduced me to you. And we left last night at 8:15. Took forever to get out of Minnesota and Iowa. We pulled in here 9:45 this morning, and we went right to brush and blinds for the next 4 hours.
You went right to work.
And here's what I loved about it. So I told Eric, I was like, you can get here whenever you want, man. You want to get in tonight? You want to get – and he's like, no, I want to be a part of the whole experience. I want to brush blinds. I want to set. I want to do the spread. I'm like – let's go.
Let's go.
That's what I'm
let's go.
Yeah, that's I love it. So, anyways, Eric, we really, really are super excited that you guys are here, and I'm absolutely ecstatic. So, our plan is, unless something changes, to maybe do one of these daily. Let everybody know kind of how the day went. I think it's really neat to have Eric here to kind of give a very different viewpoint and perspective, and he will likely add some very valuable insight that I overlook, Brett overlooks, and I love the new eyes aspect, and so I'm really looking forward to the next few days, and our plan is to document this, and I exaggerate the plan because I just know all too well how these days can go with just everything, and so so last thing, Eric, bird hit list. Like what are we really wanting? Like, is there anything special?
So my good friend Mike, who's with me, has been a dream to get a speckled belly. We don't see those at all.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Or North Dakota.
Or North Dakota.
Probably not
it's
many.
funny because who's with us today helping us out? Help me out with the name. Kyle?
Kyle?
Yeah, Kyle. He's ecstatic to shoot a Canadian goose. I said, Canadian goose, you can come and shoot all the ones you want.
Oh, Joey.
That's
Joey.
Joey.
Joey. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Kyle. Yeah. Joey said that. I'm looking at him going,
oh, yeah.
You're nuts. I said,
Well, I can see how you got that screwed up because his name's Joey Kyle.
Yeah. We have Joey, Kyle, and then we have Kyle. Yeah.
And we got Kyle.
Yeah. So it was interesting listening to him, who lives here, and I'm here looking for a speckled belly. You think he shot 600 last year, or I don't know what he said.
He's a guide for him.
So it's really interesting to listen to see. So I think that's the one.
And he probably thought the same thing with you when you're like, oh, I want a speckled.
Okay. We got plenty of those around here.
What about ducks? Is there anything
ducks? I would like to get a bull pintail with. I don't know if they even if they got the sprig on them right now.
Oh, yeah.
So I got one last year in North Dakota, which happened to be one of my other dogs last retrieve before she passed away, but did not have that sprig with. So I would like to get one with one of those.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Well, and one of the reasons, so you can know my approach on this, one of the reasons I ask you that question is because if we get a spec that sees really barred up, or we see a big bull, it's going to be like, Eric, send your dog. And you're going to be like, no, she's going to honor this one. We'll be like, no, send your dog. So, no, this is great, you guys. So we're ecstatic. We'll keep everyone posted on Arkansas. Apologize for not keeping you more up to date in Missouri. There just wasn't a whole lot to update you on, unfortunately. So
I was hoping you'd kill a big deer. We could have talked about that.
I was too. I really was. I mean, that deer. He was a beautiful deer, but I'm gonna guess he was 4, which I get, like that 4 is kind of that mature age, but I'm just telling you, like, I just looked at him like, I feel like you have potential. I feel like that you could grow into something, and
most people would have shot him.
Oh, I know. Like when you see the photos and the videos, you're like, what are you doing? But I saw that giant early. I mean,
you saw other big deer when you were here the first time around too. So, and I know you and your vision. You're not out there to just shoot anything. You've got standards and what you want to shoot, and that's just what you're going to do.
That's right.
So, and it's like I said, take soup. Most people don't like to eat it. You don't mind it.
No, I really don't. It's the experience, but I do feel like I've talked about this in the past. I feel like I've grown into that, because there was a point in time. It's no different than waterfowl hunting. There was a point in time, like, I wanted to shoot a limit. I wanted to pull the trigger, and obviously, like today we just talked about, like, seeing all these birds, it still gets me excited, right? Because like I want to be out there, and I still want to shoot, and I still want the dog, like I still want all that. But you go through this evolution of you got to shoot them to, okay, like I don't need to shoot that much, but I want to be there pulling the trigger, to, well, now I just like being out. And then it's like, oh, now I'm here for the dog. And if it weren't for the dog, it wouldn't even be here, right? And I just feel very blessed. I feel like we all are, like the three of us in here. We have found, cause Eric, would you say you're in the same boat? I mean, Brett, you'd say you're in the same boat. We didn't find ourselves in this situation at 70,
right? Which
is quite frankly what most people do, because it's taken that long for them to have the roller coaster to be like, you know what, like I like going out, but I like seeing my grandchildren, have fun. I like seeing, I don't have to shoot anymore because I've shot enough ducks. Like, I just feel like we're very fortunate to have had that. And now it doesn't mean we don't like pulling the trigger, doesn't like doing that, but it's just a different feeling. It's a different mindset when you go into, which I feel like is, and if you're not there, just to be clear, like that's totally fine. Like you might be here being like I want to kill him. Like I want to bring a case.
That's why you'll never see a pile pick come from any of my social media outlets, any of Riverstones, any of Retriever Roadmap, anything like that. It's not about that.
It is not about it. And like, I'm not going to get off into a tangent on this because I could really go down a rabbit hole. Cause
we got to eat.
Yeah, I know. It irritates me. It's one of those things that's like, okay, so you see a pile picture, you see a bit, like, I don't care.
Right.
And to me, it's just a show-offy thing. And it's like, that is not why I'm there. Like, did you enjoy yourself?
Absolutely.
Or were you, yelling and screaming at the dog, or were you doing stuff you weren't supposed to be? Like, that's not why we're there.
Yep.
I'm going to stop there because otherwise I'm
we'll
go
keep
down
going.
A rabbit hole. So, anyways, like I said, we will keep you guys, posted.
Follow along on Retriever Roadmap.
Yes.
We're going to be doing some stories of everything that's been going on. So make sure you follow Retriever Roadmap on Instagram. I'm sure they'll share over to Facebook if you don't have Instagram. So, but make sure you follow.
I'm going to throw something else in here that just popped into my head. If you have any questions for Eric, send them in.
Absolutely.
And we'll cover them. Because I'd like to hear that.
Yep.
So
and maybe we'll do something different.
Do it.
As
I have a lot of people have reached out to me.
Yeah.
Like they're following this. The people I've talked to.
Yeah.
And
send questions in. We'll get them answered, and maybe we'll do a live or something.
I like
as the
that.
week goes.
Yeah. So go on Retriever Roadmap Social is what you're going to be most active on, right, Brett?
Yep. We'll share them over the Riverstone.
Yeah, but go on Retriever Roadmap Social because that's where we're going to do a lot of this story of the week, and that's where you're going to get the live visual follow-up of the hunts and everything like that. So so make sure to keep an eye on that, and I'm hungry.
Let's go eat.
All right, let's go eat. All right, guys, hope you guys have a great, fantastic rest of your day, and we'll talk with you probably tomorrow.
See ya.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, leave us a review on iTunes, and a special thank you to Eukanuba because without them, we couldn't do what we do here, bringing this information to you.